Welcome back to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Louis Amestoy with Mike Griffith. We've finished up our show here, our final thoughts for the day, and what do we learn from the show. But before we get to that, we're talking about the Auto Club Famoso Good Vibrations March meet, which is going on this weekend, starting tomorrow. Actually today, they're out there today, but tomorrow everyone shows up. They'll be testing.
There's actually some testing going on today, too.
Testing going on today. Actually, I think first time I went on a Wednesday, and it was completely packed with people doing testing and doing tech inspections. But the 2014 champion was James Day. He beat Dan Horan in the finals. Got him on a hole shot.
Got a whole shot.
Yep.
Yeah, just won that race on the starting line.
The fact that I know that now is really disturbing. 2014 Top Fuel champion was Tony Bartone. And these two guys, we can expect that we might see them in the championships again.
We might. I think the funny car is going to be a little tougher road to get to the championship, although there's it's such a fine line in the front motor Top Fuel cars between getting down the track at 570, 560, or shaking the tires, smoking the tires, so we'll see. Right.
A lot of things going on. Funny Car is going to be an unbelievable battle. I mean, we've got some interesting storylines. I think it's one guy you might want to keep an eye on. He might be Robert Oberholzer in the California Hustler, because he's got Ronnie Swearengin as his crew chief now, right?
Right. He's got Dan Horan's former crew chief, so we'll see where that goes. And obviously that worked out well for Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan winning the California Hot Rod Reunion last year, getting to the finals of the March meet. And Dan Horan, will, of course, will be a force to be reckoned with this season as well. Let's take a look at some of the social media buzz that's just developing. This is just from today. Cruz Pedregran tweeting out this photo, actually sharing this photo on Facebook of his team arriving right there on the deal, ready to go.
Yeah, and here's a guy who does this for a living on the big show and is pretty pumped up about this nostalgia racing. And obviously, Cruz didn't really start drag racing until the mid to late 80s. He was his family was into dirt racing and some stuff, some different stuff he did. But this is kind of before his era, but he's really taken a liking to it.
Absolutely. Taking a look at some of the other ones, John Hale tweeting out this picture of their new car.
That's a nice-looking car.
That's a nice-looking car.
That's a nice-looking car.
I think it might be over at Three-Way Chevy right now. We're going to take a look at it here in a minute. But let's keep going. Here's some comments from folks. Bakersfield, here I come, from Ronnie Lee Piercy, hashtag March Meet, and then Mark Campbell, in the office early today to get things done before I head to the airport. March Meet bound. So some folks in there. And then, of course, none other than Ron Capps sharing this photo on Twitter. Yep, just a few more days till this historic March Meet drag race kicks off at Famoso Raceway. Be there or be square. And that's a great shot.
Yeah, and Ron's not racing this year, but he just loves coming to this event, hanging out, and having fun. This is grassroots racing. This is back to basics for him.
And we hope to talk to him at some point this weekend, because he'll be there in the Napa tent, because he's one of the Napa's main guys. He was a Napa guy with doing a lot of campaigns with Chase Elliott, by the way, of NASCAR. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, we're going to the reunion on Friday, right?
I don't know what we're doing. You have my life planned for me.
The Smokers reunion on Friday at the Kern County
Fairgrounds. The
Fairgrounds
is at 6. The racetrack's still kind of running at 5, so
right.
it's a difficult thing to be there.
But Ron Capps will be the kind
right.
of guest of honor there.
The Kern County Fairgrounds. It's the annual Smokers reunion. If you don't know, the Smokers Car Club are the people responsible for starting this race back in 1959, and they still hold a reunion every year to celebrate that.
All right, real quick, give me you've had some time to think about it. What do you expect from the March meet?
It's going to be a zoo. As you said, Friday's going to be a great crowd as well. There's probably a few senior ditch days going on. Mm-hmm. People have discovered that Friday's a good day to go to the racetrack. Not nearly as crowded as on a Saturday. You see a lot of stuff. And then Saturday's going to be wall-to-wall people. The pits will be filled. There'll be 3-4 deep on the fence when the fuel cars run, so it's going to be a fun time.
It's going to be a great time, too, and we're looking forward to it. All right, what did we learn from today's show, Mike Griffith?
What did we learn?
What did we learn? We
learned that a lot of people that came out to Kern County Raceway Park for the first time found out that it's a beautiful facility.
I think that might be one of the more interesting stories, too, is you look at some of the comments the guys were having who drove, at Kern County Raceway Park, how much they loved the facility.
We learned that Mark Sanders, Mr. Explosive, likes to talk.
He does
and work, and then he finds time. He did go check out the Cruz Pedregon video.
He did.
Video,
Thanks
so
to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour for that too.
That's right.
He also it was pouring concrete tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. We learned that he's pouring concrete, then jumping on a plane. So that's rather interesting. You've got to make a living to play, though.
Right.
It's not. And that's what these guys hard is. He said, work hard, play hard, and I think that's what he does. We learned a lot about Bakersfield Speedway and the 70th season coming up here, and the quality of the late model field this Saturday night. And Scott's right, and even Steve Hughes is right. It's a perfect thing. You can go watch drag racing all day, go down the road to Bakersfield Speedway, watch some dirt track racing. It's a perfect way to spend your entire Saturday.
It's really going to be an interesting weekend for sure, and we'll see. I'll have complete coverage of the March meet here on Bakersfield.com. We'll have Steve Lynch will be out at the opening night, the 70th night of the Bakersfield Speedway. We may try to get out there and get a little bit of video for that. If not, our friends at Low Budget TV will most likely be there as well. So we'll post all of the links to that on our Facebook page. Just go to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour and find us on Facebook. All the stories we'll have here on Bakersfield.com. Also, don't forget we'll have this show will be we'll have a synopsis of this show written in tomorrow's newspaper and our first Power Hour page. And looking forward to that. And it's just going to be an exciting time as motorsports officially gets underway here in Kern County as we start the 2015 season. So a lot to look forward to here as we move forward. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Bako Motorsports Power Hour, brought to you by the Bakersfield Californian. This was shot live at the Bakersfield Californian Studios in downtown Bakersfield. I'm Louis Samastoy. I produced the show with Mike Griffith. Directing it was Chris McCullough. We'll talk to you guys next week here on the Bako Motorsports Power Hour.